buddy. Welcome to Midweek Conversations. I'm Angelica, and
And I'm Dennis.
yeah, and we're here again, just like every week we're here.
And it's
And
good to
it's
have
fun.
you when we get to have an opportunity to talk about the weekend message and any
Yes,
other stuff that might be going on. So we get a
yes,
chance to go a little bit deeper.
yes.
So this
Mhm,
was kind of our wrap for a little mini series on Satan and the devil. So
mhm, mhm.
let's just
Yeah,
jump right in.
let's jump in. There was specifically like 7 things we talked about, but of course there's tons more, and that's kind of why our study and reading and our questions shouldn't really stop after this, right? Like we're ending our the mini series part of it so we can continue on because there's lots of revelation to go. But it doesn't mean that we should stop like wondering,
Right,
praying,
right,
discerning what's going on.
right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so we were talking about these 7 strategies, or just a kind of a introduction to 7 different strategies or methods, the way that Ephesians talks about Satan.
Mhm.
And just trying to expose that so people can have I guess, a higher level of discernment.
Totally. I liked how the over the course of those 2 Sundays, the one of the quotes was, "We have to acknowledge that there are realities that we cannot see." And, like, that quote really stuck out in this mini series on the devil, but I think it's actually so necessary to take with us throughout the whole book. Like, if you go
Right,
and rewatch the first weeks all the way to, like, the end of it, we have to just continue acknowledging that there are,
right,
like, realities we can't see, and if there are realities we can't see, I think that kind of trickles down into the fact that there will be realities that we can't understand either fully. You know what I'm saying? So, like, some things will be, like, mysterious
yeah,
and and confusing, and, like, you'll have to sit with it for a while. It's not like an instant, "Oh, I can acknowledge that, like, a stop sign is red, and I could acknowledge that, like, trees are brown."
yeah,
Like, these
yeah,
are things that we can know instantly. Some things we just can't know instantly, you know? Like, I feel like Revelation is kind of like trying to have a color described to you that doesn't exist on our little light spectrum that we can see, 0.0035%.
sure,
Like, it's like that. It's like trying there are so many realities that the Bible talks about that in their fullness would exist outside of our tiny little, like, visual spectrum.
right,
But thankfully, God didn't just say, "Okay, well, then I'm not gonna tell you," right? He just gives it to us in this way that, yeah, it's, like, kinda parabolic, metaphorical, but yeah, anyway.
Oh, you used the word mystery earlier, and
Mhm,
it's actually a good biblical word, mysterion. And
mm,
it's the mysterion, the mystery of the gospel, the
mhm,
mystery of God's plan. It's the mystery that's being unveiled
mhm,
in Revelation. And yeah, so I think that's a great point, that we
mhm,
need to take that concept of there is reality beyond what we can perceive,
mhm,
acknowledge that, and that we're just trying to grasp at that, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
It's kind of a beautiful thing. What I liked okay, so there are 7 points. Satan gathers mobs, he masquerades as an angel of light, he lies, does signs and wonders, tempted Jesus, he blinds the world, he accuses. All of the 7 points, go watch the message again also. I've watched it like 3 times now. But in all of them, I kept I kept hearing, like, "Be aware and be discerning," as, like, the counteraction to, like, the
Right,
devil's
right.
tactics, you know?
Hmm.
Um 'Cause, like, instead of getting stuck up on, "Oh, which tactic is it? Is this number 5 happening to me? Is this
Right,
number 7?" It's just like, be discerning, like, and be aware and be cautious, as you're going about whatever it is, you know? If you have that mentality, I feel like it's a little bit it's like taking safety measures, like a life jacket or buckling your seatbelt or, X, Y, or Z.
Mhm.
You're gonna go travel somewhere, so you go get your, immunize
Say it fast now.
immunizations.
You go
Immunization.
get your shots.
Your shots? Type in the comments below, how do you pronounce that word? Anyway, yeah. But anyway, it's like the precautions are, um, discernment and cautiousness and awareness going into whatever situation that you can kind of take, and it doesn't have to stop. Kind of like when the Bible says pray ceasingly, pray without ceasing.
Pray without ceasing,
It's like basically carry this thing with you because it will help you in all of your situations, you know?
right.
So
What you remind me of is that we can't have an exhaustive understanding. We don't know everything that
mhm,
Satan can do. I mean, he's crafty, he's deceitful, uh, and it reminds me of a story that I heard about counterfeit money.
mhm,
That as soon as money is adjusted to address a counterfeit situation, the counterfeiters ad- adjust and refine their counterfeit.
mm,
And so when the FBI was teaching banks how to figure out if something is counterfeit or not, at first what they were doing was showing examples of counterfeits. Uh, but the trouble was that that was being beat. Those examples were being bettered
mm,
all the time. And
mhm,
so what they decided they needed to do was teach people what the real thing looks like.
mhm,
And once you understand the feel and the texture and uh, all the different aspects of the real thing, then
yeah,
then you are less susceptible for falling for the fake. And
ooh,
I think that that applies here as well. That we need to spend not an inordinate amount of time understanding what all the different schemes are of the devil, but
mhm,
to spend the majority of our time understanding who Christ is and what God's will is for us.
mhm,
And when things start to push against that, then we realize, oh wait, there's something going on here that
right,
isn't right, that isn't godly, that isn't God honoring. And that's when we say, oh, this might, it might be a part of my human will, but it might
mhm.
also be something from the evil one. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah, I love that analogy. It was like, "Wait," obviously I'm like, "Wait, how are they gonna solve it?" Just yeah, focusing on what the real thing looks like. Wow. That's cool, I like that.
Well, and of course, I mean, our depth of understanding has to be ever increasing as well.
Mm,
Just like they added that little strip. There's a plastic strip in a lot of different bills now, the larger ones, because the technology and the craftiness, if you will, got so good that it was difficult to discern. And I think that kind of matches up even with our understanding of God. The more we understand of God, the less apt we are to fall for the schemes of Satan. That
to
analogy isn't perfect, but anyway,
No, no, but yeah, I think it makes for a good point.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, on the topic of, like, imperfection, our own conscience. So this idea of, like, yeah, knowing our enemy and whatever, being discerning, but you also had, like, this little warning, like a PSA, beware of your own so-called conscience, you know? Because, our nature isn't perfect, so we could inevitably end up, like, reasoning ourselves into something that isn't completely
sure,
true,
sure,
um, and if it's not completely true, it's a lie. So, something can't be partially right. Like, it's like, you can't have a partially full cup. It's either full or it's not full type thing. So
Mhm.
with our conscience, but we can like philosophize and wiggle our way into believing anything because like we're really good at that. We can be like, well,
Right.
technically the cup is full if you look at it in this way. And it's like, no, dude. Like, see, that's what we're talking about. That's the danger. Um, that's the danger of it, of
Mhm.
your own better judgment sometimes. So, like, test what's coming in, but also test, like, what's going out, what's happening inside.
Yeah. And that cuts a couple different ways. The way that I was thinking is a little bit different from what you're saying, which I think is excellent, what you're saying. I was thinking in terms of when we continually beat ourselves up about
Mhm,
something that God says, according to his word, that we've been forgiven of,
mhm,
you know? Uh, and when we celebrate communion, for instance, and we celebrate the absolute forgiveness of our broken messed upness, to go back and rehearse it is to doubt God and to
mhm.
doubt his word. So we follow our broken conscience, and we have to remember that our conscience is. You said something right before we
Yeah,
started this. What was that?
um, um, uh, oh, shoot, what was
Jiminy
it?
Cricket.
Oh, yeah, Jiminy Cricket is just a cricket. He's just a cricket.
I
Like,
love Jiminy Cricket is just a cricket after all.
after all.
And
Mhm,
yeah, so we have to understand that our conscience isn't perfect,
mhm,
and we need to trust God's word more than we trust our conscience.
mhm.
So if that makes sense.
Totally. Jiminy Cricket is just a cricket after all.
So that
Yeah.
that 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 might be, in directing us toward the good, but it also is in terms of our embracing the covering of of forgiveness
Yeah.
uh, over things which we've done that are contrary to what God would have us to do. So,
Mhm. Yeah. And to me, that just shows, like, God's love,
yeah,
how it, like yeah, covers a multitude of sins, right? It, like, covers over all of that, like, it can change it around, it doesn't you don't have to sit in it. He's really offering to pull you out of the swamp, out of the mire, you know?
right.
And we just have to, like, take his hand and be like, "Alright, yeah, I would like to get out of here." You know? And he's there offering that.
Hmm.
Yeah. He is just to forgive. Yeah, totally. Mhm.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
oh, go
Shrewd
ahead.
as a snake. Oh, yeah, no, there was that last thing. I also just love the verse in Matthew 10:16, being as shrewd as a snake and as innocent as a dove. I always thought that was such cool imagery. Like like, shrewd as a snake and innocent as a dove.
Which is something for people who are tuning in here, something that Jesus said, and he
Mhm,
instructed his disciples as he was sending them out to be wary of, he's I'm sending you out as sheep among wolves, and you need to be careful, right?
mhm,
And be as shrewd as a serpent and as innocent as a dove. But go
mhm.
ahead. I just wanted to
No,
set the context for people who are tuning in.
totally. Yeah, Jesus says that. It's just such a cool image because those 2 animals are, like, really different.
Yeah,
Like, they're
yeah,
so like, their qualities, their natures are so different. And I think that's, like it's even saying that, like, your life isn't one-dimensional, right? Like, you don't have to just be walking around like, "Oh, well, in that case, I'm gonna turn my brain off to everything." It's like, no, he's not saying that. He's not saying just, like, put blinders on and pretend the world doesn't exist. He's also saying, like, be as shrewd as a serpent. So,
mhm,
like, know your way around and know when to strike and, like, all this other stuff. It's like a very you're a complex human being, and, like,
yeah,
Jesus knows that type thing, and yeah, use yeah, um, kind of like using the skills that you have for good. So, like, shrewd as a serpent innocent. I'm gonna try to bring this together, cause like, he's saying that, like, we are able to have both type of, like, movements in our life. We're able to be shrewd and we're able to be innocent at the same time, even though it's complicated, and through that, like, through our living and, like, the complexity of being a human, though we do have, like, a sin nature, he's also saying that, you know, you have things that he's given you that are good, and so use them as you continue on in your faith walk
Mhm,
type thing.
mhm.
Anyway, that's what it was like drawing in my head, what I was connecting. I don't know,
Yeah.
that felt like it connected. Yeah.
I always enjoy talking with you about this stuff. And you know what? It sparked people's imagination too. I mentioned from the platform a book by C.S. Lewis
Mhm.
that's entitled The Screw Tape Letters. And that is kind of a dramatic presentation. Uh, Lewis decided to have a conversation, to cue us into a conversation between two demons. One is Uncle Screwtape and nephew Wormwood. And the older is training the younger how to be a good demon and how to mess people up. And so what we get is this kind of an inside look. It feels like you're getting this inside look at at the wiles of Satan, the methods, the tactics of the demons. Um,
Mhm.
so I had a fellow who has recently started attending the church. I've known him for almost 20 years, and he came up and said, "Hey, my wife and I would love to lead a book discussion on that." So I want to direct you to our church app, uh, and you can plug into a book discussion that'll be taking place for the remainder of the summer, starting here in the next week or two. You can order the book on Amazon. My wife went and didn't check my bookcase and went and checked Amazon instead, and it was in the mail in less than 24 hours. So if you'd like to pick up a copy of the Screw Tape Letters, it's by C.S. Lewis, and that book discussion will be taking place soon. Just go on our app. You can see the details there, and you can sign up if you're interested.
So fun. It
Yeah.
also that book also gives, like, a really candid sometimes a candid look at Christianity.
Oh yeah.
So it's interesting. Like, it's interesting. Go join the group.
Yeah. And also a little conversation about insipid churches and
Mm.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, check that out. And if you're not aware of the River Hills app, you can just go on either of the app stores and type in RHC Sauk, and that will take you there. So
Mm.
RHC SAUK, or type in River Hills Church, Sauk City, whatever, and it will get you there. You know our logo, you see it here on the page.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, check it out.
Hmm.
I'm boring, Angelica.
No,
So
no, I'm just tired.
I hear you. You had a long weekend.
I did. Mhm.
Lots going on. Hey, I love that background behind you, by the way.
Thank you. I made this while I was in college.
Did you
I think
really?
I think this was sophomore year. It's a giant piece of cardboard.
Oh,
It's
it
like
looks like it's fabric.
no,
Oh,
it's big. It
it's
wraps
like
around.
oh, it's like angel wings.
Uh-huh. Oh, thanks.
There you are. And you went to college where?
At the University of Northwestern St. Paul Bible
Nice.
College. I miss that.
And you studied art?
Art and design and theological studies. Yeah, I double majored. There was a lot of reading for me,
Yeah.
a lot of papers to write, but I like writing and reading, so whatever.
Yeah, so
It was so fun.
if you're looking for a place to study,
Oh, yeah, come talk to me, I'll tell you all about it. I advocate for the school, I love it, so I'll tell you everything you wanna know. I was
and
also an RA, so I know inner workings as well.
oh, so you're one of those.
Yeah, so ask me.
You were the dorm cop.
Yeah, I was. I'll give you a campus tour, I'll show you all the cool spots.
Sweet. And then if you want to entertain another place in Illinois rather than Minnesota, I went to Wheaton College, and Wheaton and Northwestern, we love to diss each other. So
Mhm. Yeah.
so don't
One's
even
one's just
bother.
better than the other.
Just check out
One's
Wheaton,
just better than the other.
25 miles west of Chicago.
You can't even. You're so mean. Mine is literally 10 minutes away from the Twin Cities, though, so
Oh man, you're a lot closer
ooh.
to a big urban area. But
Mhm.
we were a lot more dedicated too.
To sinning? I agree.
I was going to be really careful what I said there, and then I paused, and you just threw it right in.
I got you.
No, I understand that's what the expertise is of Bethel College in the cities, right?
Mhm,
But anyway,
mhm. Go
now we're going to generate all kinds of
I know the
fights
conversation.
between the various Christian colleges, but be that as it may. Hey, as always, it's great having a conversation with you, Angelica. Thanks for
Mhm,
making the time, and thanks to you at home for making the time and spending time here with us.
yes.
So again, check out that book discussion group. I don't know if they'll have an online component or not, but maybe they will.
Mm,
Uh,
that'd be cool.
and if you're in town, maybe you'll show up and hang out with Roger and his wife Pam.
Mhm,
All right, you guys have a great
yeah,
week, and hopefully we'll see you. If not in person, we'll see you online. All
mhm.
right, take care now.